By the way, before we start, I'd like to shout out Bearded Picker for this lit shirt, which people tell me is cool. And I also have a rhinestone donkey, and the tail moves on the donkey. Morning, Sally.
Good morning, Thomas.
So what'd you do over the weekend?
Well, let me see. I was at FlipCon. No, that was
That's actually wrong. It's actually wrong because it wasn't over the weekend. Yeah, it was so good. You can't remember it.
It was.
By the way, before we start, I'd like to shout out Bearded Picker for this lit shirt, which people tell me is cool. And I also have a rhinestone donkey, and the tail moves on the donkey. So.
Oh, you have a rhinestone donkey. What?
Brooch. Some people say brooch. Some people say pin.
Then they're wrong. It's brooch.
Yeah, see, you're wrong. It's brooch.
It is not brooch. Look it up right now.
It's got two O's in it.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, like blood or flood. It's brooch.
Ooh isn't in flood. Or
wood. See?
Or mood.
Brooch.
You're wrong. Let's see. We have not recorded for a week, and today we're going to just kind of cover what we did at FlipCon, what the takeaways were, and kind of plan out the week and kind of get back on the horse we came in on, or something like that. Is that Dance with a Horse you came with?
You're all into the horses. I'm just a guy who I'm a simple sheep farmer. Oh my God, you're the 459th horse farmer.
I am. I'm an explorer scout.
Sally, did you by chance get a serious angle on some vintage Boy Scout uniforms?
Yeah, I did. And I could hear your voice saying, step back from the vintage Boy Scout uniforms. It's not in your niche. Step back. But then I heard the other voice saying, oh, come on, Sally, do it. And then I heard your voice say, look them up. So I looked it up and I got, I think I got about 20 pieces of different things, and it was $30. So
that's a good buy.
I went online and ordered a book for $7 or $8, and it's it's about what?
See, that's where you went wrong. See, it's not your niche. You don't need to know about vintage Boy Scout stuff. What I know about vintage Boy Scout stuff, and I am an Eagle Scout, just need to state that.
You're kidding.
What matters? No, look, you don't get Eagle Scout vibes. You don't get Eagle Scout vibes. Look,
there's a little bit of Boy Scout leader vibe with you, but no, that's me even kind to say.
What do you mean by that? Like, really nice guy?
Exactly, and you were helpful and kind and innovative. And what did you do your project, your Eagle Scout project?
There was like this guy used Eagle Scout labor, like for kind of like a factory. So his whole goal, he was basically, this is totally ridiculous. So he was like a nature lodge preserve like manager. He figured out that he could get Eagle Scouts just to like create this walkway a handicap walkway that someone on a wheelchair could use to like go into the woods, which is kind of cool because it's like this elevated platform. But you could see like every 40 feet, there were like new colored boards that had like different spacing. And sometimes they were like done better than the last 40 feet. So my job was to create like a turnaround platform on it. Did a really good job, and it took a bunch of time, but still it was, it was kind of silly, but I got it done.
What's after Eagle Scout?
So you can get your Eagle Scout, and then you get like arrows or quarters around your Eagle Scout, which you just get by doing more merit badges.
What is this thing? It's like a little shovel. It's like a scythe or something. It's a metal pin.
Oh, so that's what the Boy Scouts got to like figuratively dig out of the hole they got in. So every Boy Scout was required to wear a shovel just to show how deep they had shoveled it on top of themselves.
That you have lied completely.
That's That's what you really think I made that up.
I know you made it up. They carry a shovel to remind them how deep. You need to carry a shovel because it's really deep wherever you are. Let's talk about FlipCon. And I have mentioned to a couple people that part of going to this FlipCon thing was very surreal. It was for me like seeing avatars come to life.
Mhm.
Because all I'd seen was your head, and Mandy, for example, just whatever we see on a Zoom meeting. And all of a sudden these people were walking around and eating and drinking, and it was kind of surreal. It's the feeling you get. I don't know if you've ever seen a movie star that you've really followed. I don't follow movie stars, but I understand that people think that they know them. And, they believe that because they've been so involved with them that they are friends or know them. Anyway, I kind of felt that way a little bit. I made some new friends, and we did some, not interviews, but made some great contacts, and hopefully we'll have some fun people on here.
Yep.
So FlipCon, I think they wound up with about 300 people, didn't they?
It felt like there were more than 300, but
I thought so too.
I'm probably just a bad estimate of people.
And I mean, it was like a real deal. You got there and you got drink coupons, and you got a prize coupon. They did drawings, and you got a name tag, and you got a goodie bag with some stuff in it. List Perfectly was one of the.
Straight up, people were like crapping on the food. I thought everything from head to toe was done really well. I don't know if you could have done anything better. Everything was set up, served on time. Oh, they needed coffee all day, but I heard that just to have coffee at one meal is $1,000.
Right, $1,000.
What?
So they're doing about $275 a head or something for just coffee. And it would have been okay if there'd been anywhere in the hotel that you could buy a cup. We weren't caring if it was free coffee or not.
Mhm.
But the hotel, for some reason, had coffee very first thing in the morning, like from 6 to 9. And then you couldn't buy a cup of coffee. You couldn't, in fact, you couldn't buy lunch there, I don't think.
But overall, I think it was fantastic. Like if you had it again at that same location, I'd have no issue. When people go like, there's nothing to do in the city, I'm like, well, you're not there for the city. You're there for the people and the connections. So what's the point? But
we didn't leave. I don't know if you left. We left only for the dinner, which, by the way, Chris and Tech footed the bill for our dinner.
that was awesome. That was awesome.
And the goodies that went along with the dinner. And it was, completely unnecessary and absolutely appreciated. It made us feel as special as they really do make us feel every day by being included in the group.
It was great.
I kind of felt like everybody was sitting at the pool table because we were with Chris and we were with our group, and our group is pretty tight. And I had to laugh. Mandy, I feel like I've known her for a long time too. I was sitting by her at the table, and this random lady came up, and she kind of made me look young. So she was up there, and she begins saying, now you're all part of a group. Yes, we are. And she said, well, do you guys know how to, and it was like, how do you run a discount? How do you put on a sale? And so Mandy, being so sweet, said, well, yeah, you can do it from the seller's hub. And the woman's talking over, she said, well, how exactly do you do that? So Mandy said, well, you go here. And I said, wait a minute. What button do you push? And this went on. And Mandy said, you ought to join the group. And the woman said, yeah, I really don't need it. Now tell me. And then she went around and she found out that Cheryl was a bookkeeper. So she went around to ask her all the questions that we have access to on a daily basis. By the way, I don't know who planned this, but it couldn't have worked out better. Cheryl, our resident accountant, won the services of an accountant in the drawing. Did you know that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I wasn't there for it, but I heard about it because it was so good.
And I think she took the ticket back up, and I honestly think they said, well, do you want to use it anyway? She said, no. But it was fun. I'd recommend saving your pennies and going. And I heard some comments not from the people there, but people who did not go on, I don't know, they're on Reddit or something, evil people on there. They were saying, oh yeah, they're in it for the money. They're making a bunch of money. Hey, I used to do that kind of stuff. And when you have at a nice hotel, you are bound by their food, well, for example, coffee. We couldn't go out and get a Starbucks truck and roll it in there and buy Starbucks. So it was $1,000, but the hotel, I think, did a good job. I think the food was a lot better than some conventions I've been at, so I didn't mind it at all. And everything was overshadowed by the excellent company. Were you accepting? You're the exception.
Oh, I'm great company. I just felt that I'm too good of company for everybody there. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. Please explain.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like, you're like here on the company level.
Well, no, what do you mean? What is the company level? What do you mean? You mean how much does Daddy love you more than he loves us?
No. So like this company level is like, it's like the fourth Indiana Jones movie, right? And then you'd have like the third Indiana Jones movie of like the first Indiana Jones movie, but the best company is Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, and I'm up here. So you're like the crystal.
No, I think you're in that pit where it says snakes. I hate snakes.
I love snakes. Bugs, get them all. Gators,
See?
crocodiles.
I think one of those snakes had your face on it in that movie.
Fiery hearts. I want it all.
I don't know what you're trying to get at, but I actually, you behave yourself pretty well. You mean you didn't alienate. I was afraid we'd wind up getting kicked off YouTube just because.
Oh no, I did terrible, but I did get to meet some cool people.
Tell me who.
We got to meet Dealing with Dalton, who was super cool, and his girlfriend. And we definitely either made complete fools of ourselves or just made them laugh for us, bewildered them for a solid 15 minutes.
I think it was more bewildered them.
That's why.
We got them to agree to come. We're going to interview them. I think to get rid of us, they signed. You made them. That was kind of embarrassing. You made them subscribe to our channel and then told me to watch them all night to make sure they didn't unsubscribe in front of them. You told them that we were going to do that.
Yeah, and they didn't. So yeah, it worked.
Who was the guy that was 6'10"?
So they're hustling books. They live in Grand Rapids, which is the west side of Michigan. I'm in Michigan. Yeah, he brought his photographer with him.
Really?
Yeah, and his wife. I don't really understand it.
Wait a minute. They brought, who was taking pictures? Were they not listening or?
I don't know, but he brought his photographer and his wife.
Well, you know what? They do a lot of YouTube. Maybe they're going to do some YouTube stuff off of it. Could be.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just didn't get that vibe.
Well, maybe they're friends and he wanted the photographer to have the chance to be there. I don't know.
Sally,
panels.
Sally, this is important. By the way, Isabella wants to tell you that my birthday is on Friday.
Your birthday's on Thursday, dumbass.
That my birthday's on Thursday. I got this.
I'm
doing great. We're doing great. Power through.
This is a true story. I was in a state and I thought the people there, I was at a party and I got talking with a guy who was a teacher and some other people. And I said, I think it's maybe the accent or something, but our people have been saying some really dumb things. He said, oh no, he said, he said, let me give you an example. He said, I teach high school. So I had this kid and he said, he's not very bright, but he came to me and said, Mr. Smith, I'm going to call him Mr. Smith, can I talk to you after class? Real serious. And he said, absolutely. So after class, kid comes over, big hulk of a kid. And he says, I just want to tell you, I found out the coolest thing in the whole world. Like, I can't believe what I just found out. And he said, well, what is it? He says, I found out that the day of my birth is the same as my birthday. And he said, I'm not kidding you. because he'd been filling out papers that said date of birth. He didn't know what that was, but if they'd said birthday, well, it's the same thing. It just happens to be. So anyway, we didn't run into people like that. I don't think there was I didn't see any, if there was animosity at this thing, I didn't see it. Everybody was willing to help. I met, can we name names? I
Yeah,
got to
I
know
just
Jack
did.
a little bit better. And Jack is just as wonderful in person as he comes across in his calls. The thing that I really thought about is, and in fact, it was Jack and Brad and another guy that's not part of our group, but we hope joins. We sat and talked, and I came away with a feeling that sometimes we in the older generation get the feeling that, the world's going to be in very poor hands, once we're gone, because, we've got everything right, obviously. And I just came away feeling that my great grandchildren, and I have a passel of them, are going to be in pretty good hands if people like the people I saw at this conference who were handling their business and treating each other kindly and working toward a common good. If they have anything to do with the way things are formed in the future, my grandkids are going to be okay. That the generation behind me, they work differently than we worked, but every bit as hard. And anyway, I came away so absolutely impressed with the work ethic and commitment. Besides, it was just really fun.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing about YouTube is it seems like everybody who you watch and is successful has been that way since, the beginning, but it's not. Like, everybody started from the bottom. Everybody, maybe they used their Instagram thing, but everybody started at the bottom with their social media, with their YouTube, and all these people that we met, they all grounded out. They grinded it out to get to where they are, which is kind of inspiring. People can get all mad at him for, oh, he only sells 5 things a day. I'm like, yeah, he only sells 5 things a day, but he also they also have tons of YouTube followers and create amazing content. So you can look at it, you can, fault them for not doing what you're doing, but they're also doing things that you're not doing. So
Yep.
it was inspiring to meet them, to talk to him. And overall, it was just a really, 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 compared to all the events I've been to in my life, it was really impressively managed. I'd go again next year in a heartbeat.
Oh, I will too. Now that what I don't want to do though is I don't think I'm naive enough to believe that all events are going to be like that. So there are some events coming up, and I would be almost hesitant to go to them because this one set, for me personally, it set a really high bar. In terms.
So which ones are coming? I know there's like Boss Reseller Remix.
There isn't there. I don't.
I think that's in
one
Vegas.
that's $1,000.
There's $1,000 one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. This thing was cheap. Getting to Charlotte is cheap. Hotel's $110 a night. Cheap, nice hotel. And then the thing's only $300, and food's on. It was a deal.
Yeah, I thought it was
$1,000
too.
a lot.
And the only complaints I've heard are from people who weren't actually there in terms of the cost being. So, I put them in that category. So the panels, the panel I wanted to go for, I thought this, for no other reason, I'm going to go for the one on media and networking. So we get to media networking, and you scribble me a note. You have this genius idea about something. We've got to talk about it right then. So we got up, went in the hall and talked, came back, and it was over, and people were saying, that was the best panel.
Man, you guys won't believe what they talked about.
The secrets were revealed. I don't think that anybody recorded it either. I know that Mandy recorded the panel that Chris was on, but I don't think anybody. I really would love to see what we missed, because they talked about, how to grow your channel and all the stuff that we're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. It's my fault.
Did you come back with any different feelings about what we're doing on our channel? I kind of did.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a good on air understanding, what do you think the like going forward plan, goal, like concept of our channel is?
Something for everything. Something for everything.
Ooh, nailed it.
And,
Nope.
and the reason I'm saying that, we talked a little bit about this morning, and you know, you and people who are at your level in the process and your experience talk about, you know, the holy grail of shirts, or the, you know, the banger of, you know, the $400 Nikes. And I want that, you know, those are things to aspire to, but I think we also, and I think we want to provide something for the people like me who start a year, you know, sometimes you get to feeling like you don't have a right to have a voice because you don't know, you know, your Rolodex is small. So I'm hoping, you know, we have a day, I'm going to, instead of, we're going to call one Rolodex Thursday instead of flip and flop, because it's not just be you saying, yeah, dumbass, you know, you bought that. Don't ever buy that again. I'm sure you'll say that, but you know, I want people to see how they can grow their own Rolodex slowly, because otherwise you just get feeling like you're never going to get it right. It's like when all the other kids know the multiplication tables and you don't, and you just can't see how you're ever going to get there. In fact, I refuse to learn the multiplication tables. My mother and dad are teachers. And my mom said, look, you never do anything without having a reason. This is in the 4th grade. She said, why are you refusing to learn the multiplication tables? And I said, they're boring. I don't like them. And if I just wait a week, we're going to be on to something else in math, and it won't. And she said, oh no, honey. This is like the mother language. The multiplication table. I said, you're kidding me. She said, no, everything you can learn. So then I learned the multiplication tables, but I thought I'd just wait till it got over. But the idea of learning things, it's like playing the piano. I don't want to start. I'm 75. I'll be 75 in a couple of months. I don't want to learn to play the piano because I'm not going to be good at it for 3 years. And I kind of feel like that with YouTube sometimes. Like, am I ever going to catch up?
Oh,
So,
I absolutely feel that way. Like I'm, you know, I'm pretty good on eBay. So then to be like, oh, I have to start this other thing and like start, not like, oh, you know, I get to leech off my eBay thing. No, this is like from scratch, start from zero. It's hard.
you mean YouTube? The YouTube thing?
Yeah, YouTube thing. Yeah.
It is. And just like listing, the hardest part of listing is the first one. You know, you got 3 hours work ahead of you. The hardest one is the first one. And the hardest YouTube video is your first one. And you want to fiddle with it and fidget with it. And I know everybody says this, and I don't care. Everybody's right. Just do it. And if you're in the group that we're in, you will never have such supportive people. Even if we get a crummy job, they would find something to say positive. Well, good for you. You guys were the first ones to try it. Nobody's jealous. We don't have that feeling in the group. And I know it sounds kind of like Pollyanna-ish, but for me, it's been like an oasis in a desert of people who are out for their own success. People truly get joy out of somebody else's success in this. It doesn't take away from me that you're good at whatever it is you sell. I'm not even sure what you sell. Whatever you sell, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't take away from me because you're good at what you do. So I'm going to find some little bizarre niche. Maybe it's Boy Scout uniforms. I'm going to find some little bizarre niche. And if you ever pick one up, like I'm going to say, no, Thomas, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Just like you do to me.
Yep. You were talking about harmonicas earlier?
Yeah, I got the neatest harmonica. I did. My grandparents died long time ago. And the lady, and she was an aunt of mine, wound up with the house after everybody else is dead. Well, she died. And my sister and I got this thing and it said, the house is yours. Well, we don't want the house. It's in a little town in Oregon that we don't know. So we said, you guys keep the house, you know, give it to the town, do whatever you want with this little house. And she said, well, we're going to send 3 boxes of things that you might want that were your grandparents. So, oh my gosh, we got 3 boxes. And in one of them, was this, I should go get it. It's a thing, you slip a harmonica in and it makes, oh, all right, I'll get it.
Oh, is
Talk
it
about-
like a harmonica megaphone?
Kinda.
By the way, we got green screens now. As you can see, we have them. Have not started using them, but we have them. Mine is sitting in my living room. Hers is beautifully decked out over there. Man, that is a nice piece of cloth.
Okay, I'm back.
Good, thank God.
Hey, we're also gonna up our game and have nice backgrounds, maybe even as early as tomorrow.
I know.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be us in space.
Wait a minute. Well, I've got it in backwards. So you slide the harmonica in.
It's pretty cool.
It is, and it's called it's Honer. It's a Honer. M Honer. I'm here. Oh, it's called a Honer phone.
It's pretty cool.
Made in Germany, a Honer phone. You know, it's like a Bluetooth boombox.
Yeah, it's just like
Without
that.
the Bluetooth.
Exactly how I describe it.
That's what I would. Well, we haven't really covered a lot of stuff. We're going to interview somebody tomorrow, and we're going to do a lot of this week, I hope, a lot of looking at categories, and both from a beginner standpoint and from a more advanced eye, to see how do you begin. For example, I hope that one day this week we're going to look at, I've collected a bunch of graphic t-shirts. When I started, all I knew is if they had a picture on them, they might be worth something. So I bought things with pictures on them. And so I have about 30 of them that I pulled out. I really don't, some of the pictures, I don't even know what they are, but to look at them and then maybe have somebody, you or somebody, talk about, if you are a beginner, you're not going to find Holy Grail. You wouldn't even know it if you saw it, but here are some things to look at. For example, I now know to look for, the single stitch. And I was listening to, I think it was on the tech call. I think it was tech call. He was talking about the brands on the inside of the back of the neck or something. I can't remember what it was. Also, I have a bunch of hats, and some of them are kind of weird, and I'm hoping we can get a hat expert to help us take a look at those.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all
Sounds
I have.
good.
I'm
Let's
still,
let's
I'm
do it.
still
Tomorrow's
focused.
going to be good. Our talk with Jack is going to be awesome.
oh, is Jack going to talk with us?
Oh
I
yeah.
like and we're going to find out exactly what he sells in all of his sources, right? No. You know what? Yeah.
Why not?
Well, we'll try to weasel it out of him. But really what I want to find out is, he just has this wealth of knowledge. I don't care as much about his store as I do about the knowledge base that he's built over the time he's done it. And it's phenomenal. And he's so understated about what he knows. If I knew as much as Jack about something, you couldn't shut me up. I would be bringing it in. Well, did you realize? I guess I kind of do that anyway, don't I? With trivia.
Yeah, you know that much about nonsense.
I know. So anyway, okay, well, this is it. And
Okay.
hopefully this will be the last time where we'll see your crappy wall in the back, and you'll see my poor attempt at a green screen. The green screen turned on me. It made my head had kind of a green glow like an alien on it when I tried it. So I obviously have to watch a few YouTubes on green screening. Again,
Okay.
thank you, Chris. Thank you, Tech, for providing the frosting on top of a really good cake in terms of taking care of us. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Bye.
Bye.